Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a crucial topic, the 12 things you should never tell the police during a traffic stop. Knowing these can make a huge difference in how a stop unfolds and help you handle the situation more effectively. Let's get into it. 1. Why are you pulling me over? When an officer pulls you over, the interaction should start with you being as calm and cooperative as possible. Asking, "Why are you pulling me over?" can come across as defensive and confrontational. This question might imply that you're not accepting the officer's authority or that you're trying to challenge their reason for stopping you right away. Instead, wait for the officer to explain their reason for the stop. This approach not only shows respect, but also helps de-escalate the situation. Remember, officers are trained to handle various types of drivers, and a cooperative demeanor can lead to a more favorable outcome. 2. Don't you have real crimes to investigate? This statement can be particularly damaging. By suggesting that traffic violations aren't significant or that the officer's time could be better spent on more serious crimes, you undermine the importance of traffic law enforcement. Traffic violations, such as speeding or running a red light, can lead to accidents and serious injuries. This comment could also provoke the officer, making them more likely to issue a citation or take further action. Instead, acknowledge that the officer is performing their duty and focus on addressing the situation respectfully. 3. My taxes pay for your job and benefits. Reminding an officer that their salary is funded by taxpayers might seem like a way to assert your rights or influence the situation, but it usually backfires. Officers are well aware of their funding sources, and reminding them doesn't change their duty to enforce the law. Furthermore, it can come off as dismissive and disrespectful. The tax-based funding of public services is a given in our social contract, and trying to use it as leverage during a traffic stop is ineffective and can create unnecessary tension. It's better to approach the situation with professionalism and courtesy. 4. I have a lot of political connections, you know. Trying to use your political connections or social status to avoid a ticket or other consequences is not only unethical, but also ineffective. Officers are trained to handle their duties impartially, regardless of who you know. Mentioning influential contacts might be perceived as an attempt to manipulate the situation, which could lead to a negative reaction from the officer. Additionally, leveraging connections might provoke the officer to enforce the law more strictly. It's always best to interact honestly and handle the situation within the framework of the law. 5. You can search my car. I have nothing to hide. Consent to a search of your vehicle can waive your rights to contest the search's legality later. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures, and you have the right to refuse a search if there is no probable cause. Even if you're confident that you have nothing to hide, consenting to a search might inadvertently give the officer legal grounds to search your vehicle without a warrant or probable cause. This can potentially lead to evidence being used against you in court. It's generally wiser to ask if the officer has a warrant or if they have probable cause before consenting to a search. 6. Do you know why I pulled you over? Responding with yes to this question can be interpreted as an admission of guilt, as it implies that you are aware of the infraction you're being stopped for. This admission can be used against you in court to show that you knew you were breaking the law. Instead of acknowledging your awareness, it's better to stay silent or ask the officer to explain the reason for the stop. This way, you avoid inadvertently admitting fault and protect your legal position. 7. Arguing when the officer tells you why they pulled you over. If you believe the stop was unjustified or the officer is mistaken, arguing with them on the roadside is unlikely to help. Engaging in a dispute can make you appear defensive or combative, which can escalate the situation and lead to more serious consequences. The officer might perceive your argument as an attempt to evade responsibility, which could result in a more severe outcome. Instead, accept the officer's explanation and save any arguments or disputes for a formal setting, such as a court appearance, where you can present your case more effectively. 8. But I only had one drink. Admitting to having consumed alcohol, even if it's just one drink, can be detrimental if you're stopped on suspicion of DUI. The amount of alcohol consumed is not as important as the fact that you've admitted to drinking, which can be used to argue that you were impaired. Law enforcement officers may use any admission of alcohol consumption as evidence of impairment, regardless of how much you drank. If asked about alcohol consumption, it's better to avoid making any statements and instead comply with field sobriety tests or breathalyzer requests if required. 9. Trying to tell a joke or downplay the situation. Attempting to lighten the mood with humor or downplay the situation can be risky. Officers may not appreciate jokes, especially if they perceive them as an attempt to deflect or diminish the seriousness of the traffic violation. Humor can be misinterpreted and might make the officer view you as insincere or disrespectful. Maintaining a serious and respectful attitude is crucial. 10. Saying anything more than absolutely necessary. You are required to provide basic information like your driver's license, registration, and possibly proof of insurance. However, anything beyond that is not necessary and can potentially complicate matters. Providing extra details or engaging in lengthy explanations can lead to unintended admissions or self-incrimination. It's best to stick to the essential information and respond to the officer's questions succinctly. 11. Lying to a police officer is a serious mistake that can have significant legal repercussions. Officers are trained to detect dishonesty, and any false statements can be detrimental to your case. Lying can lead to additional charges such as obstruction of justice and can complicate your legal situation. If you are unsure how to answer a question or if you feel uncomfortable, it's safer to remain silent rather than risk providing false information. 12. Insulting the officer. Insulting or being rude to an officer is counterproductive and can escalate the situation. Even if the officer is not courteous, responding with insults or derogatory comments will not improve the situation and can lead to additional charges or a more severe response. That's it for today's video. Remember, staying calm and respectful during a traffic stop can make a big difference in how the situation unfolds. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more useful content.